Alright, so first off, this isn't any video that will tell you some magical properties of water, such that drinking it will make you this amazing person or stuff like that. Obviously, drinking the recommended amount of water is beneficial for pretty much everyone. There's a lot of health benefits, blah blah blah, but I'm not going to get into that. That's not what this video is about. This video is more about how I brought about this amazing change in myself just from doing something as simple as drinking water, and hopefully how you can do the same, especially if you're a teen like me. For a majority of my life, I actually never drank water a lot, 2 to 4 glasses a day max, and I never really had any problems with it either, unless you want to count my mom yelling at me all the time to drink it, but you know, that happens. So yeah, pretty much never paid attention to it, and I just got through my life thinking that that would be the same. Then you fast forward to 2019, which was an interesting time period for me. I, like many teens across the country, was busy taking my SATs and retaking my SATs, also BSing a lot of essays to get into college, etc., etc. And even on New Year's Eve, I was still writing an essay to a college that I actually don't even remember, and I was just writing it for the sake of doing it, just writing something to be like, alright, please accept me. When I finally submitted it, like the afternoon of New Year's Eve, finally done with everything, there was no sense of relief, no sense of accomplishment, none of that stuff. It was just emptiness is the best word I could use to describe it. There was no sense of accomplishment, no sense of personal journey that I went through. I was just going through the motions with the most apathetic view of my whole life. I didn't care about anything that I was doing. Everything was just becoming one whole just shade of gray. And as I sat there submitting that and finally realizing it, I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. And so what I did was, since it was New Year's Eve, I was like, you know what, as any normal person would do, I would make a New Year's resolution. But the problem was, they don't work. So what I decided to do was make it the most simple thing I could possibly do. I opened up a new Google Doc and I just typed, drink 8 glasses of water a day on a blank page. And then I went and, New Year's happened, all this stuff happened, and the next day I went back to the doc. I looked at it. Drink 8 glasses of water a day. And I did that. Every single hour I was awake, I went and got a glass of water until I easily hit 8 glasses. Woke up the next day and did the same. By the weekend, I didn't even have to look at that page anymore. I was drinking 8 glasses of water. My body finally, after 17 years of living on this planet, go figure, it was like, you know what? I'll act like a normal human being and I'll drink some water. That thing, that small thing that I did, just drinking water, something that I couldn't do, mind you, for my whole life pretty much. I could never finish like a single bottle of water. Now I can down like 5 of them, but I couldn't even do that. And finally doing that brought me more sense of accomplishment than doing well on the SATs. It brought me more sense of accomplishment than making a great essay to submit to colleges, because it represented a personal growth. Not something I was doing for the sake of doing, but something I did to better myself. Something that I can look back and say, this was a positive change in my life, no matter how you slice it. And that was maybe one of the first times I felt that in a long time. Now, this isn't to say that what I did with SATs and applying to colleges was a bad thing. Obviously, that's not the case. But, especially for people our age, I think developing ourselves personally is something that we definitely forget a lot. So, that's what I want to focus on. What I did from just drinking water, that just showed me a whole new way that I could develop. That opened up a whole new possibility for me, something that I totally forgotten about. And maybe if you are someone around my age, maybe this is something you've experienced, which is the main reason why I made this video. And so after I was able to pretty much cross off that bullet point of drinking water, I added more. Some of them I have crossed out successfully over this year. Some, I'll get to them someday. maybe never, but hey, they're still on that dock waiting to be X'd out. The point is, these small goals I accomplished, these very small steps, and the larger goals that were actually accomplished because of them resulted from me doing something as simple as drinking water, taking that first step, which is so important. The important thing is, I didn't say I was going to turn my life around in 2020. No, I said I was going to drink more water. And it's not like I've become this enlightened sage or anything like that. No, far from it. I mean, my mom yelled at me before for not drinking enough water. My mom still yells at me about water, except now she thinks I drink too much of it. So not much has changed. If you look at 2020 me and 2019 me, yes, we are largely the same. But these small, incremental changes that I've made have bettered me by 1% every single time, leading to an overall positive growth from 2019 me to 2020 me. Alright, so you may be wondering, that was very cool, but how can this apply to me? You're probably not a weirdo like me, and what that means is you drink the fluid that is essential to human life. That sounded weird. Anyways, you drink water. That is very cool. How can you try to get a similar change in your life as to what I did? Well, one thing that you can do is look at yourself. Take a good look at every single habit that you have. There are some that can be detrimental to you. You could use your phone too much, you could not sleep too much, you have a bad diet, you don't exercise. There's a lot of things that you could fix, because as teens, we are kind of a mess. So try fixing those big problems that you have a little step at a time. Say you want to get into shape, say you want a six-pack. On that Google Doc of yours, don't type, get a six-pack in a year. If you're eating a lot of fast food, maybe you should type, I will only eat fast food once a month, and then change that to once in 2 months, and then slowly take it out of your diet, and then become in a calorie deficit, and then finally, you'll get your six-pack. See how that was not just one quick attack to your goal, but small incremental steps that over time will topple that big obstacle that is your goal. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story is drink water. Alright, if you made it here, thank you so much for watching. This was my first video, so I'm kind of anxious to see how it's received and everything. But a little bit more about my channel. So I am actually just an 18-year-old college student, just a normal guy. And the only thing is I just want to, share experiences that I've had, share things that I've learned with all of you guys. My videos are mostly centered around people my age because that is the area I have expertise with as of now. But if you are younger or if you are older and you can learn something from these videos, or if you can teach me a thing or two, that would be amazing. The goal of this channel, not really to gain subscribers or any of that. I don't think doing YouTube is on my bucket list or anything, but if I could create a space where people can discuss different ways of life, different habits that they do, and help out other people, make it a positive environment, that would be cool. That being said, if you do disagree with anything I said in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me about it. And we can maybe have a discussion, maybe other people can join in. And maybe, if we're all respectful, we can all leave as people that have learned something and gained something from the conversation. So yeah, hope to see what you guys say, and thank you for watching again.